Hello, all ye listeners, talking old-fashioned. We're going to do that throughout, by the way. We're going to say thee and thou and talk in kind of Shakespearean language.
Sure we
That's
are.
okay?
Should we pronounce everything like it did before the great vowel shift?
I don't know what that means.
We pronounced everything differently back then. It was like a two, not that.
Not sure
weird shit
where that
like
was supposed to be, though.
It's supposed to be like thou, but they pronounce it like there.
Oh, really?
Or like tier,
Okay.
I think.
Well,
Gosh.
I
They used to
can't keep-
pronounce all the vowels differently.
This is quite the immediate digression, isn't it? Okay.
You started it.
Hi, this is Weird World, the podcast. I'm Dean.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Carrie.
Carrie is our fount of information today. A truly strange story. Carrie doesn't do a lot of weird, kind of supernaturally paranormal stories, does she? I'm not asking. Listen, I'm asking
Taking
listeners.
inventory.
But today she does. She's going to bring us one, a kind of a classic,
It is.
strange tale of paranormal and intrigue. It is the Philadelphia experiment.
Yes, it is.
Carrie, please.
Oddly enough, we're not going to talk about Philadelphia at the moment. We're not in Philadelphia. We're in Texas,
Texas.
I
Okay.
think.
You think?
Anyway,
Solid research.
That's good.
yeah, might not be in Texas. Anyway,
Okay.
we're going to talk about a man named Morris K. Jessup.
Morris K. Jessup. I'm writing that down. Give me a heads up when I just start my timeline.
Start right now.
Okay.
We're in the 50s, the 1950s. Morris is a smart man. He has a master's degree in astronomy. He has studied toward a PhD at the University of Michigan in astrophysics,
Impressed?
which I know he has to be smart because I don't even know what astrophysics is.
It's physics, but in space.
Space and shit. So like, I bet it's even more hardcore.
I know.
It is.
It's stuff that I would.
It's crazy
I
shit.
can't
It's Neil deGrasse
understand.
Tyson, Carl Sagan territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck with it.
No, I don't.
And to be honest, I don't know anything about astronomy either.
That's where the
Nah.
stars are and where they're going. And
Well, I
What
know
to
that.
do.
I don't know details.
what are stars? When I hear stars, I think Hollywood. I'm sorry.
And he taught science at Drake University.
All right. The Drake Roadrunner. I have no idea what that is.
But in 1955, even though he's such a science guy and he's super smart and he has all these degrees, he's an auto parts salesman.
Oh. So he stopped teaching at Drake and became an auto parts
Yep.
salesman.
I believe in Florida.
Okay. Even worse, but yeah.
But he's also an author. He's written a couple books. In 1955, he published a book titled The Case for the UFO.
Oh, he's one of those
Yes.
astrophysicists.
But he speculated that anti-gravity and electromagnetism would be a more effective means of propulsion for space vehicles.
I like the
rocket
first two
fuel.
ways you said that.
Then in
That book, my recollection is that book, he really was trying to say, okay, if there's UFOs, how would they be doing this? How would they get
Yeah.
around? How would they go so fast? And he did it from a very scientific
Yes.
perspective. He wasn't like writing crazy wacko kind of stuff.
No, it wasn't stories about UFOs.
Interesting.
Chicks with green boobs and things like that were not part of his deal.
No. Then
They
in,
were science chicks with green
Damn right they were.
with magnets.
Then in January 1956, Jessup received a letter from a man calling himself, actually more than one name in the same letter, Carlos Miguel Allende, or in other parts, Carl M. Allen. This letter was postmarked from Gainesville, Texas, but the return address was some obscure rural place in Pennsylvania. The letter was weird. It had lots of errors, randomly underlined things, randomly capitalized words, which, due to recent events in the United States of America, is like a typical thing that people with weird ideas do.
What recent
Just
events are you referring to? You're kind
I was gonna say Emma does that.
Donald Trump.
of.
Does he do
No, I think just the Ted Kaczynskis of the world right like that, and always have and always will.
The what?
Ted Kaczynskis of the world, you know.
Then a lot of Ted Kaczynskis were followers and fans of Donald Trump.
I think that's been well established.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. I mean, posts on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah. So beyond just like all caps, because you don't know how to do lower and uppercase, it's more like just weird random capitalization,
Yeah, but
badly misspelled words. Yeah.
It's way harder to just capitalize the first letter of every word than just put on caps lock. It's like, why would somebody bother
I'm not sure.
capitalizing the first letter of
Yeah,
every
some people
word?
do that. It's
I
weird.
know. It's very weird.
Or just like are in the middle of a sentence, it'll be all caps, or just random words that are in caps that don't like. Why are you
that's
putting
for
an
emphasis.
emphasis to
That's
that?
for emphasis.
from-
But no, but
Pauses.
it's seemingly
is
without
weird.
a rational emphasis. It's like I'm trying to figure out what the hell you
Yeah.
mean, but I can't.
Well,
Yes.
that could just be poorly communicated tone because it's the internet.
But I would like there to be a scientific research study done on this
It's
phenomenon.
Probably a chemical imbalance.
I don't think
I was
so.
gonna say, I see it
I think
pretty
it
much
is.
all over the internet from all kinds of different people. It's just, it's not an intelligent way to type.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not an efficient way to type.
No. And I am really baffled. I want to know what they think they're doing.
I think we should just turn over the rest of the episode to this issue because it seems like that's what we're doing.
This is going to be a future issue
Okay.
after somebody has done some true academic research on it.
All right.
Okay. So anyway, the letter has all this stuff in it, and it's pretty crazy. Carlos Allende said he has read Jessup's book, The Case for the UFO, and he's very interested in it, and he wants to tell Jessup that Einstein's unified field theory isn't just a theory, because I guess Jessup talks about it in the book, and so he wants to correct him, show him where he's wrong.
Allende wants to correct
Jessup, yeah.
about his theories of Einstein's unified field,
Yes.
field theory.
That it
which-
isn't just a theory.
Which was what?
It's been proven. I'm glad you asked that question, Dean. Unified field theory is Einstein's theory that a single set of equations might rule all the forces of the universe. So if we knew what they were, then we could manipulate them.
My understanding of that is that it kind of unified electromagnetism with
And gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's the two key powers, I don't know if that's the right word, that rule astrophysics.
Right. And that if we could crack the code and manipulate them, we could manipulate things like space and time.
Damn. Some big stuff, man. That's
Which
some post-Star Trek stuff.
Is my dream time travel.
Is it? Time travel?
Time travel and also manipulating space. I don't know if this is true about space, but for like teleportation. So that we don't have to drive everywhere.
Driving. Ugh.
Love it.
I'm sick of travel time.
I would rather have my atoms spliced up and shot through the ethosphere into someplace else where they then
Or-
coalesce and
Would you
Go back to
rather
business.
have
No.
them create a new body for you on the other side and have your
I had
consciousness
not thought about
transported to the other side? But then what do they do with the body?
yeah.
Neither, you
starting-
guys.
Bodies are
It's-
disposable.
It's the
Chew
whole
it up,
piece
bitch.
of paper theory where you just
Soylent Green
fold
is
the piece
people.
of paper and then when you're on one side, you could quickly be on the other side.
You just need
it's
the
more
energy of
than
like a
that, Carrie.
star.
They don't have to scramble your atoms or transfer your
need to watch Star
consciousness.
Trek.
You guys are
I'm
making it way
sorry.
more difficult than it needs to be.
I-
Or wormholes.
okay, well, still.
Oh,
Can't we
yeah,
just have
the
a series of
convenient option.
wormholes?
Wormholes.
That could take us where
Yeah.
we want to go? Sure.
I guess.
Sure.
I hope I live long enough for all of these things. to
Yes,
Roman
almost
might
certainly
say
not
cure
going
for
to.
cancer, so it's what's up.
Yeah. Well, Carl Allen.
So he calls himself Carl Allen in the same place he calls himself Carlos Allende.
Yes.
Why do you out yourself in
It's his
when you
annual
introduce
name.
yourself?
That's just what they have to live with, Dean.
As you may know me, Carl Allen.
Well,
that kind of thing.
He believes that Einstein actually figured it out, and that he was working with the federal government, and the government was using it during World War II to weaponize it. Of
This
course.
is 56.
Yes.
Was Einstein? I think Einstein was dead now. Just barely, or
I don't
just
know
about
what year
to.
he died.
Very right around there.
Well, he wrote this in 56, but he's saying
Yeah.
they were using it during World War II.
No,
So
but
in
he's
the
saying
40s.
Einstein figured it out.
In
When-
the 40s.
Okay, but Einstein and told no one. Was he? What is he?
Oh, no, he told the
is
federal
he
government,
Scrooge?
Dean. No, he was
Not
working for the
Scrooge,
federal government.
Jim Carrey, Cindy Lou Who,
The Grinch?
Grinch. The
Remember
Grinch.
the Grinch. Find the cure to cancer. Tell no one. So that's what Einstein did with the unified field theory. That's
No.
not cool, Albert.
He told the federal government, and they were using it to weaponize during World War II.
Somebody's dropped the ball.
And Carlos Carl also claimed that he was a student of Einstein's.
Oh, that's a pretty big claim. No big deal. Yeah, just studied under Einstein.
And Allende, I'm probably going to switch back and forth between Carl Allen and Carlos Allende, but Allende said he knew about this fact because he witnessed it firsthand.
Witness what firsthand?
Fucking Einstein time travel.
Oh, time to. I was letting the cat out.
No, how the government used Einstein's unified field theory to
Do
manipulate
crazy.
space and time.
Got it.
And yes. Way back in the late summer or early fall of 1943, Carl was working for the Coast Guard on a cargo ship called the SS Andrew Furuseth.
Furuseth.
Why can't they just name things like
Bob
you know,
Johnson. Everything should be the SS
No, why does it have to
Bob
be after
Johnson.
a person? Make it the Big Blue or you
Okay,
know.
sure. The Big Blue.
Yeah.
Clifford.
Clifford.
Name it
Clifford.
after popular pop culture
Yeah.
icons.
Or how people
Frog
name their
and
boats.
Toad.
No,
They
those
name
are
it-
horrible. The Shady Lady or some bullshit like that. I
Yeah.
hate those things. No, terrible
SS
idea.
Big old Betty.
Yeah. Or they could name them after, I don't know, cities in the United States or something like that.
SS
They do.
Lodi.
Okay? They name the USS Indianapolis and the Arizona.
Oh,
That's
famously,
true.
remember?
Well, those
Yeah,
are those are the
Trump.
good ones. I wouldn't
Okay.
argue with that.
All right.
Great. Nothing bad ever happened to that one.
No, neither of those examples, as a matter of fact.
But the SS Andrew Furuseth, like,
Well, sorry.
you know, try saying that real quick to somebody what ship you're on.
I'm on the
That boat was docked in the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard next to the USS Eldridge. I don't know the first name of Eldridge, but this was a naval cannon class destroyer ship.
Mabel Eldridge, I think. That's destroy. Okay, so it's parked to the Eldridge Destroyer
Yep.
in
1943
Philadelphia.
in Philadelphia Naval Shipyard.
Got it.
Carlos is on his ship just hanging out, possibly alone. We're not sure. But he can see directly onto the deck of the Eldridge.
He's right next to it. Sure.
At around 5 p.m., he notices a green fog start creeping up around the Eldridge. And then it kind of like transforms a little bit and forms like a perimeter around the Eldridge. And he could see soldiers on the deck and they kind of go translucent. And then he's kind of freaking out. He doesn't know
Yeah.
what to do. There's nobody around like, hey, do you see what I'm seeing?
And he's an astrophysicist genius, so
And then all of a sudden, the entire ship, the Eldridge, disappeared before his very eyes.
no.
But
It's a whole ship.
a huge ship, the water, you know, where the ship was, it still looks like the ship is there. Like the water is displaced. There's like a dent in a ship shape.
That would be weird, wouldn't it? I guess it
In
has
the
to be. It
water?
would literally be like a hollow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So then that kind of looks like, well, the ship didn't disappear. It's there, but it's just invisible, right?
I
Because
guess.
if you can see
I
the
don't-
depression.
I don't know if that'd be my first immediately jump to that conclusion, but I suppose.
Well, then all of a sudden, the ship reappears in the same spot that it disappeared from, and he can hear loud screaming from the men on the deck of the Eldridge.
That's not good.
The loudest screaming comes from a soldier.
Carrie realizes she kept saying soldier instead of sailor, but I think we all wish she had said seaman. Back to the show.
Whose body has appeared to fuse with the ship. It looks like his skin and bones are melting into the deck. He's
Can
like connected to it.
Can he see the ship again at this point?
Yeah.
Or- okay, so
Yeah.
he sees the ship, but he sees a person screaming and melted into the deck.
Yep.
That would be painful,
Yep.
I think.
So, Carl claims that this was a U.S. government Navy experiment that had gone horribly wrong. The sailors
Hey, she said sailors. I still wish it had been seamen. Oh, well.
stopped experiencing time like normal. Some started just turning invisible at random. and that by 1956, all the sailors on the Eldridge were dead.
Woof.
Some of
Carlos
them,
knows this?
Yes.
He's tracked them down? Mm-hmm. Checked out death records and...
well, I don't
there'd be
know.
hundreds of sailors, right?
Well, he'll address it later, but some sailors went, quote, bananas.
But
One sailor ended up on a deck below the deck where he started.
so
And-
when he was disappeared, invisibilized, has he? Okay, well he hasn't got to.
Correct.
Okay,
And that sailor's hand was embedded in the steel hull of the ship.
how did you get that out? It's one thing to shut your hand in the car door. It hurts, but you can open the door. In this
Yeah.
case, it hurts and
cut
you
it
can't
off.
open the door.
And he doesn't explain, I don't think, how, did somebody come along with a blowtorch and
Yeah. Well, he can't see
Get them
everything.
out.
It's shocking. He's
No.
seen this much as
I
he's
know.
describing here. Shocking. It's remarkable. It's breathtaking.
He signs
It's
the letter.
Hard to believe.
He signs the letter to Morris Jessup. Quote, very disrespectfully yours,
What?
Carl M. Allen.
Why would he say that? What a dick.
I don't know.
He's.
spice it up.
I thought he was writing to Morris because presumably he respected his intellect.
I did think so,
The case of
too.
the UFO book is like, hey, you know what? You got some good ideas there. I can help you.
But here's where you're wrong.
Yeah, here's where you're wrong. So
Also.
don't very disrespectfully. I am no longer on Carl/Carlos's side.
Okay.
That was rude.
Next to his signature, there was a string of letters and numbers that were actually his old sailor ID code.
Carlos's?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He was actually working on the ship that he said he was.
The Eldridge.
The
I'm sorry.
Furuseth.
The Furuseth. Your menace, your
Legendary
enemy ship.
Fur.
Carries
Yep.
frenemy. So who verified that? Jessup?
I think so, yeah. Another thing that he claimed was that he saw
He
some
being
Allende,
okay.
that he saw some Eldridge crew members disappear during a bar fight.
Later, so after the experiment,
Yeah.
they were having a bar fight. He was again, so he's now stalking them. Apparently, because he wants to see if
Yeah.
they die or go crazy.
Yep.
And they're having a bar fight, and Carlos is there again because he's everywhere.
Doing a-
Coincidentally
Coincidentally,
so.
and he sees them disappear as right in the middle of a fight. That could be very frustrating.
Yes.
What if it's like 3-on-3 and then suddenly it's 1-on-3 because your two compadres just disappeared?
Yeah,
that would
that'd
not be cool.
Yeah, not
Come
fair.
on, man.
No. Dude, man.
Well,
They disappeared.
Jessup doesn't really believe any of Carlos's claims in this letter. They're pretty crazy, pretty out there, and he doesn't do anything about it. Then a few days later, he gets another letter. Carlos says he forgot a few details. The ship didn't just disappear.
Did Carlos ask Morris to write him back or something like that? Was he expecting a response?
I don't know.
Okay. I was just wondering because if he's expecting some response and he doesn't get a response, that could explain why he's writing back and said, well, hold on. There's more. You might
Yeah.
be interested in these
That's
additional
true.
facts.
Yeah. Well, here's the stuff that he forgot to say in the first letter.
Okay.
The ship didn't just disappear, it actually teleported.
And he knows this. How?
Because when it was gone, witnesses saw it appear at a dock almost 300 miles away in Norfolk, Virginia.
And Carlos knows this. How?
I don't think he said,
Okay.
but he gave the name of Rear Admiral Rosen Bennett, who was chief of research at the Navy. And he's
Pretty sure you just made that name up.
No,
Rosen what now?
Rosen Bennett.
Rosen Bennett. One
Mm-hmm.
word.
No, Rosen is the first name. Bennett is the last name.
Rosen is a name. That's
Yeah.
not really something's wrong here.
And he was the chief of research at the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
and he just so happens to he might have a job waiting for Jessup if he wanted to take it.
Now he's just setting up to embarrass himself.
Very
So
important.
Admiral Bennett, I'm here for that job. Who the fuck are you? That's that happened to me. Wait, no, it didn't happen. No, it didn't happen to me, but they tried to do it to me, where I was
What?
like 17 or something like that, and they tried to make older people as my stepbrother and friends try to make it go into a liquor store to buy beer and just say, tell them Paul sent you or some bullshit like that. And so, and someone else did it, and we were like kind of waiting outside. And we can see the guy, I don't fucking know who Paul is. Get out of here. You can't buy beer. You're 17, asshole. So it was mean, but funny, hilarious. I think that's what happened he's trying to do to
It
Morris
was
was
an
that.
elaborate joke just to
Elaborate
get
joke,
Jessup
yeah.
to go to the Navy and
Which,
say, "Where's my
admittedly,
job?"
would be hilarious. So.
Well, Jessup decides he is a bit interested in this whole story. So he writes a letter to Carl/Carlos asking for some corroborating evidence.
Okay.
He wants the names of some of these supposed witnesses and even suggests that they get together, that they could meet in Texas, because remember the letter was
Oh, yeah.
postmarked from Gainesville, Texas.
Gainesville, Texas. Which you'd think that'd be Florida, but no.
Yeah. So Allende responds to him and says, unfortunately, he can't give him any more information because this is all top secret, hushed up
I've told you too much. I've
Yes.
told you everything, which is probably too much.
by the government and by the Navy. And the reason nobody has heard of the experiment is because of the great lengths the Navy has gone through
Makes sense.
to keep it all a secret. But over the next year, Allende sends Jessup over 50 more letters.
Oh, my Lord.
But they really don't give him any more information. So
Wow.
I don't know what's
Behavior.
in these 50 letters. I mean, that means he's getting more than one a week.
Oh, my God.
Or
You're not
roughly
going
one
to
a week.
ignore me. I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
We're going to be buds. We're going to hang out.
Postman loves it.
I told you almost everything I could tell you, and you don't even. You're just trying to ignore me.
So
I think you needed a friend, Allende.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Well, it's kind of bordering on harassment, but Jessup did contact the Navy and he gave them the return address on Allende's letters, the address in Pennsylvania. Supposedly, somebody from the Navy goes to look for him and all they find is a vacant farmhouse. There's nobody there at
Yeah,
that
at the
address.
Gainesville address or the Pennsylvania.
The Pennsylvania
return?
one.
Okay, so he gave
The
him
return
some
address.
vacant. So he either made it up or knew the area, knew it was
Yeah.
a vacant lot. Okay,
Yeah.
probably more likely made it up.
Yeah, something like Kensington, Pennsylvania, something like that. So basically,
But this is Jessup said that the Office of Naval Research went to actually
Yes.
investigate this guy.
Yeah.
Really.
Just to look
Jessup
for-
says they did that.
yes,
No one else says they did. Okay,
I think so.
I think so too.
So Jessup drops it, and he figures, okay, well then I haven't heard anything back from the Navy. If they don't care about it, I don't need to do anything else about it.
I'm just waiting for my next 57 letters to come over the next 6 weeks. But
Well, then in the spring of 1957, so a little over a year after this all began, Jessup receives a call from the Office of Naval Research in Washington, D.C.
again, per
Jessup.
Jessup.
They have requested that he come in for a meeting.
Okay. He's going, oh my God, I'm getting the job.
They received this strange package of information that they think somehow involves him. So he hops on down to Washington, D.C.
Where is he again by this time? Is he
I think he's in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. He
So he hops on down. Okay.
Well, the Admiral Firth, who's the chief of naval research, received the package, and it has a folder, and on the front of the folder, it has the message "Happy Easter" written across the front.
Because that's sure to be open at the Office of Naval Research. Oh my God, somebody knew it was Easter. Oh, let's open that. Is it candy? Is it rabbit chocolate? Different than
Inside the
chocolate
folder,
rabbits, by the way. Rabbit chocolate's different. It's chocolate that rabbits eat, by the way, not chocolate made in the shape of rabbit. Just want to make sure that's clear to our listeners.
okay, can rabbits eat chocolate? It's toxic
Some
to
can.
dogs,
That's when I
so-
said rabbit chocolate. I'm not just covering for saying something
the cool
wrong.
kind.
I'm actually and making nonsense up. This actually referring. I meant to say that.
Okay.
So it's rabbit chocolate.
Anyhow, inside this Happy Easter folder is a paperback copy of Jessup's book, The Case for the UFO. And written in the margins of the book in 3 different colors of ink are just bizarre annotations.
So someone sent this to the ONR and
Yes.
saying, "You guys, this is important."
Yes. Some of the notations are just kind of nonsense and random. Some appear to be like a conversation with each other. Each color is a different quote character.
Each like pen, like ink.
Yes,
color.
ink
Okay.
color.
Okay.
But I think they're all written in the same handwriting.
They are.
But they're written kind of by a different character. Only one character is named, and it's Jemmy.
Jimmy.
And the other two,
Yeah.
and Jemmy, extraterrestrial.
Well, I
Possibly.
think that's
Some people think.
been, yes, that's part of the
Yeah.
lore is that
Yes.
one of these three annotators was an alien.
Yes. And the Office of Naval Research named the other two Mr. A and Mr. B because they're creative there in the Navy.
Again, according to, remember, Morris K. Jessup.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've read it lots of places on the internet, so it's
What?
got to be true. If you read it
I
on
mean,
the
think
internet,
about it.
it really
the
happened.
very serious government agency in the middle of the Cold War with Sputnik just around the corner is going to take this obscure book about UFOs with 3 different weird people annotating in the margins. And then, you know what? We need to look very seriously. Let's go contact the author and have him come up here to Washington, D.C. and discuss this further because this might be something that's...
This is the Office of Naval Research. They can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Ooh.
You think
Okay.
they only got one thing to work on?
Yeah,
So
this
they
is back
get-
in the 50s when they like did shit and like they haven't.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
since.
So they can do important stuff and also completely time-wasting stuff at the same time. Very impressive.
We don't know what was in those annotations, Dean.
That's true. Well, yeah, we do. Isn't it? I believe the annotated version has been published.
You're right.
So we do.
But you and I don't know what's in those.
Right now as we sit here.
I love it.
But they did because they read it.
Nobody knows. Nobody except people who can go and click out a cart on Amazon.
No,
Otherwise,
no,
it's
you
a
can't.
mystery.
You can't find it. In fact, I'll get it.
Okay.
I'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
She'll
You're
get
just
to it.
jumping the guns, Dean.
Sorry, babe.
These handwritten comments claimed extensive knowledge of UFOs, their means of motion, and the culture of the beings occupying those UFOs.
Oh, so it really covered the full gamut of them, the personalities of some of the key leaders in the alien society, too, as a matter of fact, and their favorite colors.
But they did use pseudoscience and some bizarre and incoherent terms. They also claimed
In terms that we don't understand because we're not quite there yet.
correct.
Okay.
They could
Flux
also be
capacitor.
they could be extraterrestrial terms too.
They could be, and we just don't get it.
Yes. They also claim that extraterrestrial technology allowed the U.S. government to make breakthroughs in unified field theory.
Okay. All right.
And we know who was hot on that trail. Carlos Allende.
Okay. It turns out we did not know Carrie to help us out there.
So what Dean was talking about a moment ago, the copies of the annotated text, 2 ONR officers had 127 copies. Why? 127? Nobody knows. Copies of the annotated text printed and privately distributed by a military contractor.
Allegedly. And also printed by a tiny publisher in Texas called Vero
Yeah.
Publishing. No reason. Just,
Yeah.
Somewhere near where Morris Jessup, though. I'm sorry, where Carlos Allende allegedly lived.
Yes. So if anybody has one of those, it's probably worth a pretty penny.
Probably so.
And
Why
then
would the Office of Naval Research have a small Texas publishing house publish them when they have a large government-owned printing press to have that kind of thing done? I'm not sure. Mystery.
well, the impression I get is that it was not an official
Okay.
project,
It
right?
was more of a passion.
Okay.
project.
Just these 2 ONR officers
on their personal
decided-
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah.
And the personal dollar to have something published 127
Well,
copies.
they made a fake purchase order number, and
I see.
you know,
So it's
maybe
like a-
one of them worked in the office where they.
Oh, you know what it
could
was?
do stuff
you know
like
what it
that.
was? Their relative owned Vero Publishing. They're getting some business, a little shady. Okay, got it.
I heard it was an actual military contractor.
Vero Publishing
Yeah.
in Texas?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, poor Morris Jessup, his life took a couple bad turns.
So wait,
After this.
So he goes to the ONR in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
He talks to those people,
I
and
forgot
they
to
say what?
He said, well, they said, you know, this is your book. It's got
Yeah.
all this crazy writing in it.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who might have sent it to us because of all the crazy stuff in it? And he immediately recognized the writing was Carl Allen.
Oh, so all 3 were Carl Allen.
Yes.
Just trying to portray himself as 3 different characters.
Yes.
Okay.
So shortly after this, that meeting was in 1957, Jessup had some bad things happen in his life. I think his wife was leaving him, and he was in a bad car accident.
Oof. And
Or
he also
something.
was not getting published
Lost his publishing,
Yeah.
and he committed suicide
anymore.
in 1959.
Allegedly.
True.
There are actually some after the fact associations with Men in Black. They sort of backdated when Men in Black was, which we've talked about on a recent, not a recent, but on a past
Previous
episode. Some people connected that to Morris Jessup's and trying to make that a mysterious thing. Maybe he was murdered, but
Yeah.
he committed. I think in his car, I believe, right? He shot himself in his car. I think. I may be making that up.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't know if I ever read
Rip.
how he died. Well, so for decades, Carlos Allende, aka Carl Allen, was the only witness of these strange scientific experiments or supernatural events that happened in 1943. They became known as the Philadelphia experiment. Yes, you can tell us about Morris?
Well, yeah, because it turns out how he died. He was. You're right. He was in an accident. He was kind of in hard times in 1959 in Florida, and on April 19th, 1959, he contacted Manson Valentine. I'm not 100% sure who that is.
Great
Me
name,
neither.
though.
And he arranged to meet him on the following day, saying he had a breakthrough regarding the Philadelphia experiment. On April 20th, the next day, Jessup was found dead in his car in Dade County in Florida. A hose had been run from the exhaust pipe into the rear window of the vehicle, and he killed himself that way.
Yeah.
And they ruled suicide, but of course, like I said, there are
Yeah.
conspiracy theorists that he was murdered for this alleged breakthrough in understanding the Philadelphia experiment, or the conspiracy surrounding the Philadelphia
Yeah.
experiment. That's all. Other friends, though, that said he had been extremely depressed and
Yeah.
had discussed suicide with friends for months. So you be
Yeah.
the judge.
Yeah. Anyhow, after the release of the 1984 film, The Philadelphia Experiment.
Oh, you can't just slip that in, Carrie.
What?
1984 brought a wondrous, amazing thing. That thing was a film with Michael Pare,
Who played Carlos?
The Philadelphia Experiment. I don't know, but it was a wonderful motion picture.
Did you see it?
Yes, I did see it. It was not actually a very good movie at all, but it wasn't a little tiny nothing, no budget. I mean, it wasn't a big blockbuster budget, but it was a serious, not a serious film. It was a decently budgeted, good production value
Yeah.
film in theaters, good distribution and all that kind of thing, with Michael Pare and Nancy Allen. Also, as a matter of fact.
Was it a Dino De Laurentiis film?
No, it was directed by a guy named Stuart Raffel. Never heard of him?
No.
But it basically followed, maybe it elaborated on and embellished a little bit, but it followed what you described earlier, how people were
Right.
insane, they vomited, they had burn marks, but they were found melded
Yeah.
or parts of them, and they went increasingly insane after this
Yeah.
experiment happened.
Yeah. Wasn't Nancy Allen married to Dino De Laurentiis, or do I have that wrong?
I have no idea.
Anyway, so after the movie The Philadelphia Experiment, actually 4 years after, he didn't see it in the original release. He saw it in 1988.
Who?
A man named
sorry.
Al Bielek. He came forward claiming that he actually was there. He personally took part in the Philadelphia experiment.
There actually was something that happened before the movie that was pretty important.
What?
There was a book written by Charles Berlitz, who was an infamous popularizer of the Bermuda Triangle, who wrote a book in 1979. That really got it in the widespread notice, and the movie was made after that, based kind of on that. So the impetus for the movie was the Charles Berlitz book called The Philadelphia Experiment, also in 1979, written with another guy whose name escapes me, but they wrote it as fact, as if this really happened, and it was a pretty big seller. The movie wasn't, didn't buy that book as its property to make the movie from.
Right.
It's just because it had been around for decades by then. But that book made it, somewhat popular in the mainstream
Right.
thought before the movie came out. So the Berlitz book was also something that added to the luster and
Yeah.
the lore of this urban legend, or this what's now
Yeah.
considered an urban legend.
Well, I did not know about that book. Dean, thank you very much
Sure.
for that piece of information.
You're very welcome.
So anyway, Al Bielek watched the Philadelphia experiment
Okay.
in 1988,
And then 4 years later, got an
and
idea.
all of his repressed memories came flooding back.
Repressed memories, one of my favorite topics.
But it was surely a highly traumatic experience.
Oh, for sure.
Which, some people claim they repressed those memories. But he was also, all the sailors were brainwashed by the Navy. They were
So
brainwashed to forget it.
he was on the Eldridge.
Yes.
And so he went through that, somehow didn't get trapped in the middle of something, survived it.
Yes.
And 1988,
He remembers it because the movie jogged his
45
memories.
years later, he's now talking about it. And it takes 4 years for that movie to jog his memory. Or he saw it, he didn't see it when it first came out in theaters.
No,
he waited
yeah.
for it to be on TV.
Yeah, he saw it in 1988.
Okay, got it.
Me
Yep.
too.
So
I wish for things to get to Netflix. Same.
he had it in his queue for years.
Yeah.
Well, then in 1994, there's a French-born astrophysicist and
Can I guess the name?
ufologist.
Okay.
Yes, you may.
Jacques Vallée?
Yep. He publishes.
didn't- oh.
Well, you didn't.
I didn't know that, but I guessed it because he's a prolific UFO enthusiast, and he's French, so I guessed it. Yeah,
Someone got
Yep.
so many French UFOologists.
pretty much one.
Well, he published an article in the Journal of Scientific Exploration titled "Anatomy of a Hoax: The Philadelphia Experiment 50 Years Later." This was 1994, and he had written other articles, but in a previous article about the Philadelphia experiment, he specifically asked readers to please contact him if they had any further information about the event, because, he subsequently calls it a hoax. That's when he gets a letter from a man named Edward Dudgeon,
Yeah, okay.
who actually served in the U.S. Navy from 1942 to 1945. He didn't serve on the Eldridge, though. Edward served on the USS Angstrom.
I was really hoping it'd be the Furaseth or whatever it was again, just to piss off Carrie.
That wasn't a Navy ship. That was a Coast Guard ship.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
Checkmate.
My bad.
The Angstrom was dry docked in the Philadelphia Naval Yard.
The nail yard was right next to it, and it made nails there, but just go ahead.
Naval Yard during the summer of 1943. Dudgeon was an electrician in the Navy, and he had complete knowledge of all the classified devices that were installed on both the Angstrom, his ship, and the Eldridge, which he said they were there at the same time.
Okay. And he waited 50 years to let us know about that.
Yep.
Until a French ufologist asked him. Then he thought, well, I mean, if people are asking, I better
You're
go ahead.
asking for information. It was classified, Dean.
Yeah.
But
He was.
now it's not?
Yeah.
Now, is it officially not classified now?
I
And
don't
did he
know.
research that? No.
How long does it take for things to be declassified? More
There's
than
no
50 years.
set time.
Oh.
Depends.
Really?
Depends on when they get declassified.
Well, he said that these weren't teleportation devices designed by Einstein or maybe aliens.
Or both.
The devices on the ships.
Einstein was an alien.
No.
Yes.
Dun, dun.
Yes. I'm going with that until I know different. Until someone
Exactly.
proves me wrong, I'm going with that.
Okay. The devices on the ships were there to enable the ships to scramble their magnetic signature
Oh.
using a technique called.
Degaussing.
Yep.
Okay, so this actually might be real because this
Yeah.
is someone saying
This is a real
okay,
thing.
let me explain what may have happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They weren't teleporting or disappearing. They were degaussing.
They
which-
were making the ship invisible.
but not invisible to the naked eye.
No.
Degaussing involves wrapping the vessel in large cables, going from what's it called, stem to stern,
Sure.
and then sending high voltages through the
Thinks we're in
cables.
Navy. I don't know.
Not in the Navy.
Neither of us are in the Navy. Don't
Yeah,
do
but
it.
you're more well read than I am. You know
Stem to
things.
stern. I like it.
So they send the high voltages through the cables, and then it scrambles the ship's magnetic signature. And that is to make them invisible to mines that have something to do with magnets.
Yeah?
They detect
That's
the magnetic something.
And they on the ship. So actually, the Canadian guy invented it, and the British ships did it first.
Yeah.
And it was very common during World War II to degauss your ship to try to avoid
Yes.
mines. Yeah.
But it didn't make the ship invisible. It
No.
was still visible to radar and to the naked eye
Yeah.
and sonar and everything. It's just to those weird magnetic mines.
So is the idea that someone overheard? Yeah, we were just in Philadelphia Harbor making the ship invisible, meaning invisible, and he took that literally and then started the
Exactly.
legend, like Carl Allen / Carlos Allende, maybe, or just Carlos Allende, if there really was a Carlos Allende,
Yeah.
heard someone and that
Yep.
you know.
That's exactly what Dudgeon says.
Okay.
You know, he thinks anybody on the docks could have heard them talking about this, you know, making the ship invisible.
Okay. Huh.
Because he said the operation involved contract workers and that there were merchant ships around, like Carlos Allende's. So he said it was possible that civilian sailors could have heard Navy personnel saying something about making the ship, quote, invisible.
That's interesting.
He also said the green glow that Carlos Allende referred to could have been due to an electric storm or St. Elmo's fire. I didn't even look up St. Elmo's fire.
It's a
know what it is.
1980s movie. Rob Lowe, Demi Moore. It was had a great hook-filled song, by the way, called "St. Elmo's Fire."
No.
St. Elmo's Fire.
is-
something. That song.
What is
So,
it? It's an atmospheric
Yeah,
thingy.
it's a very rare thing that does have almost like a.
Is it kind of like the Northern Lights?
No, it's
Oh.
because it's very specific. It would be seen on the like a ship's mast or something like that. Just like almost fire-like weird coloration on tops of mast of ships. Sometimes,
But isn't it
Things-
like ships out in the middle of the ocean?
I think so.
Not ships in a dock in a naval yard. right?
Aaron, she still thinks we're in the Navy. She thinks that we.
I'm not a chip scientist.
No, I just think
don't
you know things.
We don't know, Gary. We don't know. You know what? Who does know though, Gary? Wikipedia. I'll go ahead and I'll have it for you in just a moment.
Well, and then people say, well, okay, Dudgeon, how do you explain people in Norfolk, Virginia, seeing the Eldridge appear there?
Chuck and me.
Dudgeon says, well, as a matter of fact, I can explain it.
What?
The mysterious appearance in Norfolk and sudden return to Philadelphia didn't really happen. Well, it did happen
But
because it would take, like, I don't know, a day or two.
yeah.
Going
Around
the normal,
way. Yeah.
the normal route. Most people don't know. I had never heard before. There are secret inland canals from between Philadelphia and Norfolk, Virginia, going through Delaware.
Well, since Aaron and I are in the Navy, according to you, we knew that.
I know.
I've been down
But we-
this Delaware Canal.
Yeah.
Quaint. It's quaint. It's a scenic route.
It is. That's what Joe Biden knows about it. He's
I
from
know.
Delaware.
I'll bet he does. I looked on a map and I couldn't find him.
Well, no, Carrie, they're not
secret.
allowed to be put on maps because they're secret. Come on.
Apparently.
It's like Area 51.
And these canals
Only in Delaware.
are obviously off limits to
Yes.
commercial vessels. And so it allows them to make the trip in about 6 hours
So-
instead of 2 days.
So the idea is that
Express lane.
someone heard that the ships were going to be made invisible, which really meant degaussing. They misunderstood it. And then they saw something freaky was saying it almost fire to explain this green fog. And then the rumor started that, it wasn't made invisible. It was teleported because we saw that
we
thing
saw it in-
hours before,
Yeah.
hours after I saw it in Philadelphia. That's impossible. How would when a very easy explanation is that none of the above ever
You're so skeptical.
happened. I'm sorry.
We're going to call you poo-pooer
It's one of those things, though, where you have this elaborate, well, actually, this could be explained naturally
Actually, this was this and this was that. And
when you don't really need. At least I can see the first part makes perfect sense, right? That someone did hear this urban legend started in the Philadelphia naval yards. People say, I heard they're making ships invisible because they misunderstood what they overheard.
Yeah.
But you don't. But then the green fog and the teleportation is just because remember Morris Jessup in his I believe in his 1955 book The Case for the UFO he also I think he talked about not just what would power UFOs, how they'd be propelled, but also could they teleport. So it was all there in the book.
Yeah.
So someone reads across the end, he hears these rumors and hears these. He's he does hear these rumors and hears this story about this ships made invisible, and he reads the book in 1955, and he kind of merges those things together.
Yeah. So, Dean, tell us what you have learned about St. Elmo's Fire.
You mean from Wikipedia? Or no, I knew this already.
You know I don't like the Wikipedia. It's not a valid source. But go for it.
It turns out it's a weather phenomenon in which luminous plasma is created by a corona discharge from a rod-like object such as a mast, spire, chimney, or animal horn.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an atmospheric electric field. So it can have this blue or violet glow around the object, which is sometimes accompanied by hissing or buzzing. So that's why you would see it on the tops of masts of ships at sea would sometimes have these weird lights that they couldn't explain, and this bluish violet hissing light, and they would call it St. Elmo's Fire. Named after St. Erasmus of Formia, also known as Elmo,
Fuck yeah.
apparently.
But not green.
No, not green. So, yeah.
So probably nonsense.
Which is, again, so that points to the fact that part was an add-on.
Yeah.
Dudgeon, you don't need to explain that because it never happened. So just
Still
calm down,
Yes.
bro.
Well, then the Philadelphia Inquirer reported
Not the National Enquirer,
The
a
Philadelphia.
very reputable newspaper.
In 1999 on a reunion of sailors who served on the USS Eldridge. This reunion took place in Atlantic City, of course.
Michael Pare was there, as a matter of fact.
where
He's
all
an
the-
honorary member, I believe.
The sailors said the ship never docked in Philadelphia. And
Oh.
in fact, it was in Brooklyn, New York on its supposed date of disappearance. The ship's log confirmed this, and the captain of the ship said no experiments were ever conducted on the vessel. And interestingly enough, at this reunion, they were not all ghosts. They weren't dead sailors.
Some
So-
people did,
Had gone
admittedly.
bananas?
Some people did. That one guy had a huge piece of metal grafted to his hand because they never got it off. One guy had a whole deck around his waist that he was merged into, but otherwise they were in decent shape.
And if you care to read a not super long yet boring article about this,
It's short and boring, but
Tell me more.
it's actually from the Navy confirming, they looked up, because, the Philadelphia experiment is big to do. So they looked up all the records of where all the ships in question were, and they list in excruciating detail that on such and such a date, the ship was here, and then it went to here, and then it was in here, and then it went to Casablanca, and then it went to...
Carrie. Records can be faked, Carrie. Don't be a sheeple. Now
Memories
who's
of
being overly
multiple
skeptical?
people can be faked. Carrie.
Yes, Carrie.
Well,
They were
obviously,
brainwashed.
Dean.
That's why when they talk about, they don't remember being in Philadelphia. They quote unquote remember being in Brooklyn. That's
Yes.
not real.
Well, so here we get to the whole crux of the whole hoax thing. With all of this information telling you why it couldn't be true, why do so many people still believe it?
Michael Pare,
Well, the
It was very
movie
convincing.
powerful.
the movie does kind of have something to do with it. Your favorite French astrophysicist and ufologist,
Jacques Vallée.
he thinks the imagery and people who have seen the movie or heard of the movie, it has very vivid images of sailors fused in with the ship and screaming and
Shit dope as hell.
yeah, and so
And the Charles Berlitz book, remember, that preceded that was portrayed as fact,
Real,
not
yeah.
fiction. So a lot of people just saw it and they don't, because they think Blair Witch is real too. And
Yeah.
they think they have this
Yes.
memory of the Philadelphia experiment and they don't
Yep.
look at it close enough to realize
Yeah.
it's not considered true.
but having heard of or seen actual images,
Oh, I see.
is it
So-
helps
Oh, yeah.
kind of give it a little bit more staying power than things that you may have just heard vaguely of.
Huh. Well, we don't really need that anymore. Have you seen any images of QAnon? No. Or
Well-
the Pizzagate? No, but people think it's true. That's interesting. Actually, I was bad-mouthing Jacques Vallée a minute ago. He's actually a serious UFO, or was a serious UFO researcher.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then
to be
also,
honest.
things like I talked about the Navy coming forward and saying we've looked through all the ship's logs and we know where they were
Yeah.
and they weren't in these places. But then again, that doesn't matter because people,
They lie.
a lot of people's general mistrust of the federal government and
Yeah.
the military, they're not going to believe what they say anyway. And them disputing it just adds fuel to the whole conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's the non-falsifiable. you
Yes.
know, oh, you say it didn't happen, so it must have happened.
Yeah.
Jacques Vallée is alive, by the way. I feel bad. Sorry, Jacques.
And a
So
lot of
Jack-
and a lot of people think, well, if there wasn't something to it, why would the ONR actually call Morris Jessup to come down?
Did the
And
ONR call Morris Jessup to come down?
I'm not calling Morris Jessup a liar.
I ain't calling him a truther.
He's somewhere between. There is no documentation whatsoever that ONR ever took any interest in Morris Jessup whatsoever or his book. None.
Really?
People have looked
All
for
of
it,
that's
yes.
not true?
It's very likely that's not true. What's interesting here is that is this completely a figment of Morris Jessup's imagination, or did someone calling themselves Carlos Allende or aka Carl Allen really write him these letters trying to pique his interest?
In fact, he did.
He did what?
Carl Allen is a real person.
Oh, who is Carl Allen?
Yes.
You're saving this twist for the last? Carrie,
Well-
tell us who Carl Allen is.
Your friend and mine,
Yes.
Brian Dunning
Brian Dunning.
from the Skeptoid podcast,
He found Carl Allen.
which Dean is a huge fan of. He actually has a personal friend
Okay.
who grew up or was from the same town that I think was called Kensington, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went and looked into it a little bit. I forget the guy's name.
The friend of
This-
Brian Dunning has looked into it.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he thought, that return address is my stomping grounds.
Okay.
So he went there, and apparently,
He used the phrase stomping grounds.
Well,
kind of-
that's my-
Did he use the phrase stem to stern?
no,
Okay.
that's an official naval term.
No,
so-
obviously Aaron and I would know that as naval
Yes.
personnel.
But so anyway, Carl Allen did exist, and I guess
Oh.
he was kind of the wacky family member in that family, and he continued to write these. He was kind of famous
Oh.
for writing bizarre letters and sending them to people. He would send them to his own family members and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And he continued even after Jessup died. He continued sending letters to people.
And did Carl Allen, was he ever really
That's all.
anywhere near Philadelphia on the ship adjacent to the Eldridge, or did he just make that shit up?
I think he just made it up. Because he might have been on
Yeah.
that ship,
Or
but
not.
That ship was not in Philadelphia.
That's right. And well, and as we know, and so he probably, who knows, he'd probably heard of the Eldridge and somehow associated it with being in Philadelphia, but it was wrong, or at least on that date he was wrong. But you said
was
that it
never
was
in-
never
it was-
in Philadelphia,
no.
so he messed that up somehow. And he just wrote crank letters to people, and he read
Yeah.
Morris Jessup's book,
Yeah.
and then wrote to him thinking,
Yeah.
because he was a little bit,
Yeah. I mean, there may
Interesting.
be some sort of mental illness involved
Maybe.
or something.
so he wrote to Morris Jessup and just incessantly. Now, the next part being in 1957 when the ONR supposedly went
Right.
to see Morris Jessup. That has to be from the fertile mind of Morris Jessup. I like I said, I've read that there's been no documentation, and the ONR officially denies that they did any such thing with
Yeah.
Morris Jessup. Morris Jessup said that happened. It's possible.
Yeah.
But it's funny because remember there was a UFO story. Oh gosh, it was in association with. I'm drawing a blank. We covered it. It was in Washington State, and so it's this UFO case, and supposedly the people from the government investigating it were doing so on their own dime as well, on their own time. Remember, they died on the return plane trip that just happened to crash when they're going back to Washington, D.C. They had been investigating that UFO
Yeah.
incident in Washington State on their own time. So it's possible that there were a couple of ONR people who unofficially did get this package from Carl Allen in all
Yeah.
likelihood,
Yeah.
and went to talk to Morris Jessup because their interest was piqued.
Yeah.
So it's possible Morris Jessup didn't make that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. But like I said, the ONR denies it.
Right.
Okay.
But, they deny everything.
Yeah.
Deny.
Deny. So Morris, that's interesting. If that's true, this is probably unfair, but Carl didn't help Morris, who committed suicide just a few years after this happened. I mean, this is something that he became a little bit obsessed with.
Who?
Morris Jessup.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Carl Allen's writing these
Yeah.
letters to him, and he induces Morris Jessup to be kind of obsessed with it. That
Yeah.
couldn't have been good for his already kind of messed up life.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming you, Carl,
Yeah.
but you didn't help
Yeah.
with your,
My theory,
yeah.
sometimes really smart people have troubled minds.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Oh my God.
It was beautiful, but it was troubled.
Russell Crowe.
In the character he played, whose name I don't remember.
Russell Crowe.
Not Russell Crowe, literally, but that dude, that mathematician that he played.
What was his name?
I don't remember.
John something.
Sure, John something. That guy, for instance.
Yes.
As an example. Okay.
Well, wasn't he schizophrenic? I mean, he
Yeah.
had
Maybe not a great
I'm not
example
talking
by me.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not talking
terrible
about.
depiction.
I'm not
That's not
talking
how
about mental
hallucinations
illness.
work.
I'm just talking about super smart people.
Yes.
Mental illness, love.
So, okay.
Because they're the opposite of blissful ignorance. The more you know, the more you have to worry about, is what I mean.
Yeah.
I suppose, especially if you're privy to alien secrets like Carl Allen
Yes.
and Morris Jessup were.
That's
So,
why I got to stop listening to NPR.
okay.
So upsetting.
Okay. Carrie's now
So
equating
Marissa
herself
said,
with
she says-
geniuses.
Just don't worry about it. Why do you worry about it?
Yeah, no,
What
no.
the
I'm not a genius. I got to stop listening to all the smart people. Tell me about things that are actually happening in the world.
Gotcha. Well, in this case, this smart person, Morris K. Jessup, did obsess over something that was, in all likelihood, a complete fiction made up by Carl Allen, the crank writing,
Yeah.
weirdo from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
But it made for an interesting story and a decent movie starring, again, the inexorably brilliant, Michael Pare.
Wow, you're just fascinated by Michael Pare,
Yes.
aren't
Well,
you?
he was also in that one movie with the
About the dead rock star.
Yes,
Or the
that
dead,
one.
Was he a rock star? Or?
Yes, he was a rock star. And he died, but he's alive.
Yes.
Jim Morrison kind of a thing. Anyway, that was and Philadelphia Experiment has become it's part of it's a kind of an iconic
Yeah.
paranormal, supposedly
Honestly,
true story.
I mean, it was in the back of my mind as some kind of government
True story,
experiment.
yeah.
That it really did happen, but that it just got embellished and like the soldiers fusing into the hull of the ship, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I didn't believe any of that.
That's good.
But I thought, we've heard of the government literally. What's the whole
MK Ultra,
the goats thing?
The Ministerial goats. Where
Yeah.
they're trying to, the government does some crazy stuff.
trying
Sterilizing
to astral
people for
project
fun.
people
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
So, but in reality, especially given what you said about how the government looked into it, it was really literally completely a hoax.
Yes.
Nothing of it was true. So in other words, Dudgeon's whole explanation is unnecessary
Yeah.
because it never happened.
Yeah.
It's just from the mind of Carl Allen.
no, I think he inserted himself into the whole story.
Yeah.
that-
Well, he did think, I mean, that is an ingenious way that could have been started.
yeah. Oh, sure,
Degassing.
yeah.
But you don't need that
Yeah.
because you have to first establish that something really happened in the first place. In
Yeah.
this case, it did not.
But also the part about him forgetting his time on the Eldridge because he was brainwashed. But then he goes on to
Wait, Dudgeon said that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Dudgeon
then
was a
he
little nuts,
debunks
too, also.
basically the whole thing. So that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that doesn't. Well, not a lot of all-stars in this story.
No.
Right there. Except for those two brave ONR people who had it published 127 copies of
they
it
wanted to get the
in
word out
Texas.
there.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
127
Shout
people.
out to them.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thanks, Carrie, for
That's it.
the
Thanks,
Philadelphia
Dean.
experiment.
Tell everybody where they can find us.
Well, you can find us on just all over the internet and on weirdworldpodcast.com. Weirdworldpod dot something.
Weird World
At
Pod
things.
on Twitter.
Twitter.
And Weird World Podcast on Facebook and Instagram and Patreon.
I love it. Thank you so much, Carrie.
You're welcome, Dean.
Appreciate it. Until next time, keep weirding it. I don't know. I really got to.
Let's not put that on a t-shirt.
Let's not. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.